Welcome back. In our last video, we used calculus to unlock the three fundamental equations of linear motion. But what happens when an object isn't traveling in a straight line? What if it is just spinning in place like a wheel, a turbine, or a planet? The linear equations we derived are entirely useless because of the center mass isn't actually going anywhere. To solve this, we don't need new physics, we just need a new dictionary. Instead of tracking position x in meters, we track the angle theta in radians. Instead of velocity, we use angular velocity omega, which measures how fast the angle is sweeping out. And instead of linear acceleration a, we use angular acceleration alpha. Once we make this translation, the calculus we already know takes the care of the rest. Before we do the calculus, let's look at the geometric bridge between these two worlds. If you look at a point on the edge of a spinning wheel, it moves a linear distance along an arc S. By definition, this arc length is just the radius r multiplied by the angle theta. If we take the derivative of both sides with respect to time and treat the radius as a constant, we find that the linear velocity v equals radius times angular velocity omega. Take one more derivative and linear acceleration a equals radius times angular acceleration alpha. This proves our new variables are grounded in exact physical reality. Now for the fun part. Calculus doesn't care if you are dealing with meters or radians. An integral is just an integral. Let's assume our angular acceleration alpha naught is constant. By definition, angular acceleration is the derivative of the angular velocity. We integrate both sides with respect to time, evaluating from initial state to our final state gives us our first equation of rotational kinematics. It's the exact same structure as our linear velocity formula, just varying the different mathematical output. To find the position, we step it up a level, and angular velocity is the rate of change of angle, so we replace omega with d theta by dt. We separate the variables again and integrate both sides with respect to time from 0 to t. The omega naught picks up a t and the t integrates to 1 half t squared. Our second equation linking angle, speed, acceleration and time. Finally, what if a problem doesn't give us the time? Just like before, we use the chain rule to eliminate the time entirely. We expand d omega by dt into d omega by d theta multiplied by d theta by dt. Since d theta by dt is just omega, we can separate our variables and integrate angular acceleration with respect to theta and angular velocity with respect to omega. Multiply by 2 and clean up the fractions, and we have our third timeless equation. Let's put this toolkit to work. Imagine a jet engine turbine starting from rest. It spins up with a constant angular acceleration of 50 radians per second squared. How many total radians does it sweep through in the first 4 seconds? Since we have time, initial velocity, and acceleration, we can drop these right into the second equation. The initial position and velocity terms are 0. We are left with 1 half times 50 times 4 squared. The turbine sweeps through exactly 400 radians. If you found this visual breakdown helpful, hit the subscribe button, keep exploring, keep calculating, and I'll see you in the next video.